Discussing conditions like paraplegia or tetraplegia usually brings a single image to mind: a life spent in a wheelchair. When the brain can no longer send signals past the injury, systems below don't just rest, they deteriorate. Without motion, joints become stiff and frozen, known as contracture. Meanwhile, lack of muscle activity causes blood to pool, creating a risk for lethal clots. In this acute phase, physiotherapy functions as a mechanical override. It is the primary tool used to keep the body's internal systems operational while the nerves are unable to command them. When voluntary movement stops, biological decay begins. Physiotherapy is the physical intervention that disrupts this process, protecting the body's structural integrity. The first stage of medical management is prevention, or rock thumb. The goal here is to maintain the musculoskeletal and respiratory systems before permanent damage occurs. This involves passive ranging. Since the patient cannot move their own limbs, a therapist manually guides each joint through its full range of motion daily. This keeps the tendons flexible and prevents the joints from seizing. Injuries above the T12 vertebrae paralyze the abdominal muscles, removing the ability to produce a natural cough and clear lung fluid. To prevent pneumonia, therapists use the assist cough technique, applying manual pressure to the diaphragm to force air out. Patients also use incentive spirometers to mechanically expand their lung capacity. These interventions keep the body pliable and the lungs clear. They provide the physiological stability necessary to move into the more active phases of recovery. Once stabilized, the focus moves to management, or niantron. This is the process of regulating the body's involuntary reactions that occur without the brain's supervision. When the spinal cord is damaged, normal reflexes can go into overdrive, causing spasms. A simple touch can trigger a signal that bounces from the limb to the spine and back to the muscle as a violent contraction, never reaching the brain for regulation. To manage these reflexes, patients undergo specific physical protocols. This includes 20 minutes of daily prone lying to stretch the hip flexors. Patients also perform therapeutic exercises in water. Moving their legs against the water's gentle resistance is a crucial physical protocol to calm the nervous system. Management also addresses pain. While doctors treat nerve pain with medication, physiotherapists focus on the musculoskeletal wear and tear caused by overuse, particularly in the shoulders, which must now bear the full weight of the body during wheelchair use. These routines don't fix the spinal cord itself. They tame the body's archaic responses so the patient can meet the physical demands of daily activity. The final stage is adaptation, or anukulan. This is where clinical survival is converted into functional independence in the outside world. This requires precise biomechanical work. Patients are trained to maintain a strict seating posture, hips fully back and pelvis straight. Even a slight misalignment over several hours can lead to pressure sores that take months to heal. For C5 to C7 injuries, tendon transfers reattach a working wrist tendon to the dormant finger tendons. After 12 weeks of therapy to retrain the brain, patients learn that lifting the wrist pulls the fingers closed to hold a cup. Adaptation is the process of using these anatomical workarounds to regain the specific mechanical functions needed for self-care. Eventually, the controlled environment of the hospital ward must be replaced by the realities of everyday life. In Queensland, programs like the Transitional Rehabilitation Program, TRP, and the Spinal Outreach Team, SPOT, facilitate this. These teams move the final stage of therapy into the patient's own home, where the environment isn't optimized for a wheelchair. At home, the 24-hour medical support of the clinic disappears. The daily maintenance of skin integrity, strict bowel routines, and joint mobility transitions from being a set of hospital orders into a personal, lifelong requirement for survival. Every spinal cord injury is unique, and no two recovery timelines look the same. However, the physical requirement for a consistent, personalized routine is the one factor that remains constant for everyone. Work with your medical team to establish your specific routine and take full control of your physical maintenance. अगर आपको ये जानकारी उपयोगी लगी, तो इसे शेयर करें ताकि और लोग अपनी recovery को समझ सकें. Knowing the mechanics of the body is the first step toward reclaiming it.